not intimidated at all.
Break that time because their rotation non-existent. Reggie Lewis missed a wide open jumper.
Off the hand of Person, and Boston has it inside the final minute. Bird off the give and go is fouled by Rick Smits.
Strong foul by Rick Smits.
His second.
Give and go.
And Larry Bird will hit the free throw line for a pair of shots. An 89% free throw shooter during the regular season, a season that saw him miss 22 games. Greg Dreiling is also going to come in, and Michael Williams for Indiana.
The Pacers have a chance right now to get a 2-for-1. There's 39.7 seconds left to go in the quarter. They push it up and get a quick shot. They'll get another chance at the end of the quarter for the last shot.
Bird spent the night in traction after game one to ensure that he would get a good night's rest. He was in the hospital, came out to practice yesterday and having a good first half. See the time left in the second quarter as Parrish knocks that one out of bounds. Shot clock with 11 seconds. Williams, and there's Person. Oh, don't give him that shot. Somebody's going to have to guard Person. It was a 2. He was just on the line, but he has 23 points in the first half. 6 for 6 in the second quarter. And Dreiling commits the foul.
How about that pass? Vintage Larry Bird. Senses the double team coming.
Beautiful blindside pass.
Similar to the one you throw in your game.
Yeah, right. Except I don't do it on purpose. At the free throw line, Reggie Lewis, former first-round draft choice out of Northeastern. A man that stayed at home to play his professional basketball, the all-time #1 scorer at Northeastern, over 2,700.
We've got 6 seconds now to the end of the quarter. Celtics trying to match up defensively.
And you expect the Pacers to push it in a hurry as they have the whole game. This time it's a necessity. Schrempf takes it all the way. Oh, that'll be offensive goaltending. No basket. Dreiling was in the cylinder. And Ron, I think he was going to go through.
It sure looked like it from where we're sitting.
That could be a big play because that was going to fall through. Instead, Dreiling nullifies the hoop at .9.
Let's remember that play and the foul by Rick Smits at the end of the first quarter. That's a 4-point swing. See if it has any bearing later on in the game.
It's been a close first half, a seesaw battle with the Indiana Pacers holding the upper hand here at intermission. At the end of the first half, Indiana leading by 3 as, watch this now. Dreiling in the cylinder.
I don't know, it might have been coming out.
All right, at the end of the first half, Indiana leading 64-61. Now stay tuned for the Prudential halftime report with Bob Costas and Pat Riley after these messages.
This is the Prudential halftime report. Come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
All right, trying to get even. Pacers 64, Celtics 61 at the half. Before we talk about anything else, what about the trash-talking Mr. Person?
Well, he's backing up his words today. There's no doubt about that. But the interesting thing, Bob, about the Pacers game, ever since Bob Hill became the head coach, that team is a fast break basketball team. I mean, in the essence of what that is all about. It's a state of mind. It isn't just 3-on-1 basketball or 2-on-1 basketball. It's about advancement of the basketball every single possession after makes, misses, steals. And Person has really dealt with that extremely well. I mean, he's getting down the floor, getting opportunity shots to shoot threes. He's making them. He's unconscious. But it's the kind of game that during the course of the second half may take its toll on the Celtics. And what you want it to do is you want to get them to crack in the fatigue factor. And I think that's what the Pacers are all about.
So pace is everything for the Pacers. When a guy gets on a roll like Person's, where he's hit 5 of 5 3-pointers, take it from both sides as a coach. Do you want to alter things to make sure he gets the ball if he's your guy, or will that just happen naturally? And defensively, what kind of an adjustment do you make?
Well, you'll look for him, but he will also attract the ball because he'll go looking for it himself. I think one of the reasons why Person is getting so open is because Larry Bird is guarding him. Not that Larry Bird is not a good defensive player, but he doesn't get out. He doesn't trail guys very well on screens, and he plays sort of a soft game defensively. So Truck's getting a good look at the basket. They may have to put somebody a little quicker on him.
Here are Bird's numbers: 13 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. But the larger story is shown in this series of plays. Playing with that bad back, spent the other night in the hospital in traction, comes out just to ride the bike and participate in the shoot-around. And look at him. The ball's going to squirt free. He'll dive for the loose ball here. You pick it up, Pat.
Well, this is one of the reasons why he has a bad back. I mean, he just lets it all hang out. Right here, under the board, there's contact, and that one's going to hurt tonight. I mean, if you're talking about muscle spasms tightening up, he will experience some pain tonight. Right here, you can see another great play by Larry. This is where he's very good as a defensive player. He reads every situation. He was tracking the ball, and he picked up the charge, and again, landed flat on his back.
You know, talking about a young Chuck Person talking trash, which he does to everybody, but in particular, he likes to try to goad Larry Bird. Bird is a throwback player, great respect for opponents. There's not a lot of flash, not a lot of an attempt to play to the media. But one time early in his career, Bird made a mistake, which, as I understand it, he regrets. He got 30 in the first half against Dr. J. And he said to the doctor early in the third quarter, "You better come out and play me, or I'm going to get 60. And the doc, who also was a sportsman always in his career, was so incensed in that one flash moment. That's when he went for Larry's throat, and they had that famous fight. Yeah.
And I think Larry does regret that. There's no doubt about it. But great players have great respect for each other. I'm not saying that Chuck Person is not a great player. He's a great talent. But until you win a few, until you develop the level of respect from other people, I think it's best really to keep your mouth shut and let the sleeping dogs lie, as they say.
One more note here before we send you off to a commercial break. The 5 3-pointers by Person puts him one shy of the full-game playoff record for threes, which is 6 held by several players, including Vernon Maxwell, who did it in defeat yesterday for Houston. The regular season record for 3-pointers in a game is 9 by Dale Ellis and Michael Adams. Person 5 for 5 from beyond the arc in the first half today. After this, Pat has a look at the 2 oldest arenas in the NBA. The game you're seeing comes to you from one of them, Boston Garden, of course. Chicago is the other, and Pat is back with the story after this.
Welcome back to the Prudential Halftime Report, everybody. You know, watching today's playoff game in Boston Garden brings back memories of some afternoons that I've spent in that building. It's one of the greatest home court advantages in the NBA. This year, the Bulls hope to make Chicago Stadium a similar place to fear. And perhaps these two buildings can add another chapter to their storied histories this postseason.
If you build it, they will come.
For over 60 years on Boston's North End and Chicago's West Side, they have stood the test of time. The Garden was a Bruins hockey stronghold in those days, and when Chicago Stadium opened in 1929, prize fights were the featured attraction. In 1932, George Halas's Chicago Bears would win the NFL title here. In 1946, there were no Bulls in Chicago, only Stags. And in Boston, it wouldn't be long before a brash young coach by the name of Auerbach would be lighting up a dynasty on Causeway Street.
It symbolizes winning. It symbolizes camaraderie. It symbolizes unity.
In 1966, the Bulls were born and Chicago got a red of their very own.
A lot of people call it the barn, the big barn on Madison. I don't agree with them. Years ago, I used to call it the Madhouse on Madison, and that's a little bit more what it is, I think, the Madhouse on Madison.
The deafening noise levels at the stadium became like an invisible sixth man to rattle Chicago opponents. And at the Garden, the infamous dead spots on the parquet floor have always favored the locals.
If you know where they are, you try to head the defense towards that area, you know, and build up your percentages on them making a mistake.
Spider Edwards has been working at the Garden for a quarter century and knows firsthand the home court advantage.
When I first came here, they didn't have the regular basket that you see now. They were wired to the railings of the loges. So every now and then a fan would shake that. The baskets would move, so you can imagine which basket they shook.
The charms of the Garden are as legendary as the banners hanging in the rafters. For instance, air conditioning is a modern convenience you won't find here, and you might just end up in a seat with less than a perfect view of the action. And while mice on the ice might bother the Bruins, the Celtics may have found a better way to deal with cagey four-legged opponents. In Chicago, the emerging Bulls may be on the verge of building a championship tradition of their own. But in the land of the gallery gods, the locals like to whisper of ghosts of Celtics past. But there may be another tiny explanation for the Celtic mystique.
I always maintained there's a leprechaun up there sitting on the rim, knocking the ball away. And every once in a while, you have to go and donate to the leprechaun. He's got a pot of gold. When they demolish the Boston Garden, they're going to find the leprechaun's pot of gold down there in the basement someplace.
Well, Pat, many memories, some good, some bad for you in this place, Boston Garden. Literally sweating it out through some of those playoff games, huh?
We had an experience in '84 in Game 5. It was like 100 degrees outside, 110 inside. The humidity was 95%, and we got buried by about 35 points. So I tried to make some precautions for the 7th game. We came back on Sunday. We had 2 4x4 air conditioners, big pipes, big wires, and we hooked them up to these circuits in Boston Garden. They blew a fuse. We couldn't use them. We got beat in the 7th game. I think there's a lot to be said about the leprechauns in that particular building.
Well, they've had some blackouts in that building, and in hockey games, when you get into May and the playoffs, the condensation with the heat hitting the ice, they've had games stopped because of fog.
I was always wondering, I could never find Red Auerbach because I would see him somewhere in the game, and then all of a sudden he'd disappear. And I knew he was up there in the colonnade section trying to find a place to pull some wires on the back of the rim.
Just follow the trace of cigar smoke, and we'll be back with the second half after these messages and a word from your local stations. Pacers 64, Celts 61 after 2.
Halftime at the Boston Garden, the Pacers leading the Celtics 64-61. Chuck Person getting the best of his battle with Larry Bird so far. We'll have the second half in a moment. Tom Hammond and Ron Rothstein at the Boston Garden, 64-61. The Pacers leading at halftime, and we talked about that personal duel between Chuck Person and Larry Bird. We admire the courage of Bird, but Person had a fantastic first half.
To say is on fire is an understatement. Last 5 minutes of the half, he went 6 for 6, 16 points. He had a great game in the first half. He settled for that for 48 minutes. But Larry's having a nice game, too. I mean, he's played 21 minutes. He has 13 points, 5 boards, 7 assists. He's all over the place. He's doing his thing. It's a great, great matchup.
There's Larry Bird loosening up to start the second half. The early offense you spoke of has been very productive for Indiana.
Well, they want to get out, as I said, and run as much as possible. They've done a great job of it. They must maintain that in the second half if they're going to have a chance to win here today.
Second half underway, and we begin with Indiana in the basketball, leading by 3. Boston has a 1-0 lead in this series. One Friday night. Reggie Miller penetrates, driving. Taken away by Lewis. Bird can't handle it. Bird was hustling down court. Couldn't collect the pass, and Indiana right back the other way.
Once again, the Celtics playing Larry Bird on Brett Dreiling. Pacers are going to try and get Dreiling down and deep and go to him.
Miller. Chuck Person. Is he still hot? Yes.
This time he posted up, took Gamble inside, stuck the turnaround jumper.
25 points for Chuck Person. Indiana by 5. Shaw. Brian Shaw, soft shot, rolls through. 66-63. Opening minutes of the third quarter in Boston. Williams dished to Dreiling and missed it. Good pass. Dreiling couldn't finish. Bird guarded by Thompson. And Shaw. Let's get it back. Rimmed out for Lewis. Dreiling. Oh, great catch by Reggie Miller. That one seemed destined for the first row, and Miller went upstairs to get it. Thompson. Shaw pushes it up court for Boston. They're 4-on-3. Good head fake by Reggie Lewis as he pounds it through and pulls Boston within a point at 66-65. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad, what did Larry Bird do at halftime for that bad back?
Well, I talked with the trainer, Eddie Lasseur, coming out of the halftime, and I asked him, what did Larry do during halftime? He said he sat down on a chair and listened to the coach.
We'll be right back.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Diamante, the new luxury performance sedan from Mitsubishi. By the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft Light. Big draft taste comes to light. And by the Prudential. Come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
Well, a shot of the pub Cheer, where Cheers is shot with the people lining up to get a look at that. It wound up the television season as the ¡1 rated show here on NBC. And Kevin McHale of the Celtics was once in an episode of Cheers that appeared on NBC. 66-65, Indiana's lead cut to 1. Pacers with the basketball. And just under 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Chuck Person. Oh, he made a nice pass, and Williams missed the shot. Another rare assist by Chuck Person if Williams could have gotten it through.
Chuck is trying to show everyone that he's expanding his game. He recognizes the cut. Larry Bird tries to come from the weak side to help. Gets called for the foul.
And it is the third foul on Larry Bird.
See, both these teams like to dive a player when the ball goes into the low post. Sometimes it's the passer. Sometimes they'll dive the guy from the top. Both teams are very dangerous when the ball goes inside.
Indiana's hit only 9 of 16 free throws in the game, yet they still have a 2-point lead.
They have caught trap again. Now they're matched, but they got Dreiling running at it Bird.
Larry can't hit. Person has the rebound. It seemed to disrupt the Celtic half-court offense that time.
Took them out of what they wanted to do, no question. That's what Indiana wants to do.
Miller lost it. Shaw.
Uh-oh. Big collision on the other side. Michael Williams and Darryl Garrettson, and they're both hurt.
Chuck Person is looking at Darryl Garrettson, the official, and Michael Williams still on the floor, now comes up hobbling.
You know, Indiana wanted to run back at Boston. Well, Michael Williams was running a little curl, turning up the floor, looking back for the basketball. Darryl was running down the sideline, trying to cover the break. And as Michael turned to go up court, he and Darryl just, I mean, they ran head-on into each other. That was a tough collision.
Garrettson seems to be all right. See if you can spot it here, Coach.
It's on the left-hand side of your screen. It happened already. I think Michael Williams got it in the thigh.
Well, what a way to lose a player. With, as a coach, what would you say to the official in a case like this?
I'll tell you what, I've seen enough things happen here in this arena that are really strange. And it makes you wonder every now and then if the leprechauns are coming out. I've seen passes intercepted, guys shoot threes with the foot on the line and the foot's not on the line. Some very, very strange occurrences. Two guys diving for a loose ball, banging heads. One guy getting knocked out, not returning in the 7th game of the 87 Eastern Conference Championship Series. Talking about Vinnie Johnson and Adrian Dantley. It's a little scary at times when you stop and think about it.
You know, Michael Williams is going to leave the game. He trotted up and down the sideline and still is feeling some pain. Play will resume without him. Pacers point guard injured.
It'll take away from their ability to get out in the open court. I don't think there's any question about it. Pacers looking to exhaust his post-up stuff. Two-man game with Reggie Miller and Chuck Person.
Vern Fleming has replaced Williams. There's Chuck Person. Halftime didn't cool him off.
9 for 9. His last 9 shots is 9 for 9.
Brian Shaw tried to dish it through the foul. And the hand you hear from the Boston Garden crowd is for Derek Smith coming in the game. Smith has rapidly become a crowd favorite. There he is. He had knee surgery in September of 1990 and played only 2 games in the regular season. One of them was the final game of the campaign, and then Friday night in the playoffs, unexpectedly he got in the game, and he was in the center of everything.
Played 3 minutes, extremely active, dove on the floor twice, got to the foul line, and was 4 for 4 in 3 minutes.
What did he tell us before the game today? I can't wait to play. Watch things happen. There he is on defense. Challenged and shot. It was an air ball. And Bird on the floor with Riley. Jump ball.
Derek Smith putting the body on Person, challenging his jump shot. See, he forced him out about 2 steps from where he was getting that low post position. Things that you never see in the stat sheet, but are so important to winning basketball games.
They finally found a man to stop Chuck Person. It was Derek Smith. Miller had it knocked free. Shaw leads the Celtic break. 2-on-2. Lewis. Good. Celtics in front. Loose ball. Smith ties up Person. Well, Derek Smith was true to his word. He has been a whirlwind since coming onto the floor and has given Chuck Person fits. The officials had a little lecture for Person and Smith a minute ago after that collision.
I think they were a little upset with LaSalle Thompson. LaSalle came running all the way from half court to protect his teammate.
Indiana takes a 20-second timeout, giving us a chance to see it again. Derek Smith, number 43, right there. Person battling as well, and then Larry Bird will enter the fray.
That's a takedown. Yes, sir. That's worth 2.
How valuable is it to a team playoff time to have a man like that, Derek Smith?
You can't put a value on it. Okay, it's so important. You've got to have a guy that's willing to come in and do the dirty work, and this is dirty work right here. It's about as dirty as it's going to get. Hello, Chuck. Oh, Chuck kicked him. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
A Person didn't like that at all. He retaliated with a little kick. Derek said hello.
Well, it's taken Chuck Person out of his rhythm. Remember, he had hit 9 in a row. Smith made him put up an air ball and then had him scrambling on the floor. Loose ball taken by Lewis, and the Celtics control. Lewis. Harris on the foul is fouled. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad for a report on Michael Williams.
During that collision moments ago with Darryl Garrison and Michael Williams got kicked in the shin. He's now icing it, and he will continue to play.
All right, Ahmad, twice on that shin, a freak collision with the official. Here's the ice on the shin. Robert Parrish shooting for his 12th point of the game. He also has 7 rebounds, 4 of them offensive. And the free throws give Boston a 4-point lead. Vern Fleming still at the point, replacing Williams. Fleming with a drive and a kick to Shrimp, who was cut off by Parrish. Fleming takes it with 3 on the shot clock and buries it.
Nice draw and kick by Reggie Miller. Put it on the floor, got the seam. Drew Vern Fleming's man. Opened up the jumper for Vern.
Boston's lead is 2. Parrish against Smith. That quick baseline spin. And he dished it off to Shaw. Blocked by Smith. Shrimp has the numbers for Indiana. Fleming finishes.
Just the easy pass. Nothing spectacular. Just get it done.
Game tied once again.
See, this is one dimension that Fleming brings to the table. His pressure defense, his ability to defend in the half court.
Bird is open. Smith's on the rebound. Pacers push it again. Fleming against Shaw. Pretty little jump hook as he spun to the hoop. And the Celtics will ask for a timeout. Right now, Indiana has the hot hand. The Pacers take a lead up 2. Rick Smith's playing a little defense for the Pacers on the last Celtic possession.
He's got his forearm in Parrish's back so that when Robert goes to roll, he's able to square him up and make him pass off. And then he comes back in as Brian Shaw tries his little baby jump hook, blocks the shot, keeps it in play, and starts the Indiana fast break, in which they scored a deuce.
Celtics with the basketball, trailing by 2. Just under 6.5 left in the third quarter. Parrish sets a pick. Shaw misses the 15-footer. Strong rebound by Miller, who's not known for his board work. That would look good. Shrimp cut off by McHale. Flows to the basket and with a left-hand hook scores. Reggie Miller said he was going to be more aggressive in this game, and he has been. Got off to a fast start, had a little lull, and then starts to pick it up again. There's Derek Smith chasing down the loose ball. And he lost it. It's going to be off Chuck Person, I think. Boston's ball. Well, Derek Smith didn't look good offensively, but he's done the job defensively. Chuck Person hasn't scored since Derek Smith came in the game.
Just don't ask him to score.
If he can stop Chuck Person, he will have done his job if he doesn't score a point. He's going to try that outside shot, and it was a brick. Fleming has Miller. Can't handle it.
Great pass. I think Reggie could have caught that. I think he could have come down, gathered himself, and gone back up strong. There's the pass. Reggie tried to do it all in one. Great effort. Nice look by Vern Fleming, keeping his head up, being able to see him out ahead of the field.
Turnovers, a bit of a factor in that game with Indiana leading by 2, but the Pacers have turned it over 15 times to 5 for Boston.
The last possession before Derek Smith missed that jump shot, it started with an isolation for Reggie Lewis on Reggie Miller. The Celtics want to work on Reggie Miller. They want to make him work defensively. Yesterday at practice, the Pacers went over this plate, and they're committed to double teaming the basketball as soon as they isolate Reggie Lewis to give Miller some help and cause the errant pass.
Well, of course, coming up after this game, we'll go to the Chicago Stadium where the New York Knicks will battle the Chicago Bulls. The Knicks a 41-point loser in Game 1. That challenged their pride. We'll see if they can come back. That's Game 2 of the doubleheader coming up at the conclusion of this game from the Boston Garden.
The Celtics trying to go inside right away. That was Shrimp on McHale.
Brown checked in at the timeout and immediately hits from outside his first basket of the game. Smith. Tapped out of bounds. Indiana's ball. Michael Williams who took that shot to the shin and had the ice on it just a few minutes ago, is back on the court for the Pacers.
That was an outstanding move by Rick Smith.
7'4". He was twisting and turning. Pacers get it back. Good quick matchup of Brown and Williams. Outside shot. That's Chuck Person.
Just want to remind everybody he hadn't gone away.
And Derek Smith is on the bench, by the way, the Person stopper. That was a 3. And Indiana's up by 5. Brown, top of the key. Smith and Shrimp, the teammates. Shrimp
Off the dribble.
out of bounds by McHale. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. As soon as Detlef Schrempf sees Kevin McHale or Larry Bird, he's putting it on the floor and trying to take him to the hole.
See if they start looking for Person again. He's hit 6 for 6 from three-point range. There's Chuck Person on fire. Chuck Person now with 32 points. His season high was 35 against Utah, and he gives Indiana a 7-point bulge. That's their biggest lead.
There's a double team on Reggie Lewis.
Brown splits defenders and is fouled.
The Pacers yesterday at practice made a conscious decision that they wanted to make Kevin McHale and Reggie Lewis pass the ball as much as they possibly could. And so far, it seems to be working rather well. Chuck Person driving Larry Bird back off the dribble, pulling up and sticking the fadeaway. Great range off the dribble.
D. Brown hits 2 free throws after the third foul on Michael Williams. And it's a 5-point lead for Indiana, 82-77, just under 4 minutes left in the third. Person made the ball fake and hit another one.
And he's talking to Kevin McHale as they run down the court. He just had something to say to Kevin.
He can talk to anybody today. 34 for Chuck Person, not a missing person today. Kevin McHale, double team, somehow got the shot away. He'll go to the line for 2.
We have a situation developing here right now with 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Pacers are playing extremely well. But what we have right now is the Celtics in the bonus for the rest of the quarter. And every time the Pacers make a jump shot, the Celtics come down and get the ball inside, or they isolate and back you down. And I just wondered, can you keep shooting 20-footers or 23-footers as opposed to 8 and 10-footers? What's going to happen at the end of the game?
Well, Chuck Person has hit those 23-footers a lot, 34 points, 1 shy of his season's high. He's hit 12 of his last 13 shots. Only Derek Smith stopped him, made him put up an air ball.
But he only has 2 assists.
What do you want? Spoken like a true coach.
Reggie Lewis against Person now. Size mismatch in the low post.
Person missed one finally. And the Celtics win the rebound battle. Bird trying to post up on Shrimp. Gets the entry pass and the double team. And Brown is open. Smith took it away from Bird.
Nice job by Rick Smith. Nice patience.
Larry Bird hasn't scored in the second half. At 13 at halftime. Smith from outside. He can shoot.
I'll tell you what. You know for sure there's one proud father sitting in this arena today. This kid is playing great.
All the way from Eindhoven, Holland. Rod Schmitz is in the States to see the entire series. He's going to go back to Indiana with us. 2:25 left in the third as Lewis comes up short. Then bounced off his chest and out of bounds to Indiana. Right now, the Pacers carrying the fight to the Boston Celtics, and the crowd getting a little uneasy.
We'll play a little pick and roll with Fleming in Person.
There it is. Williams. Bad looking shot, and McHale has the board. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Celtics trailing by 7. Shaw, fadeaway, air ball. Shrimp couldn't control it.
Big break for the Celtics. Because the Pacers would have had the ball back, up 7 with a chance to make it 9.
He just wasn't squared up to the basket at all, and then Shrimp saw it bounce off his hands, off his knee, and out of bounds.
Tough shot by Brian Shaw.
Larry Bird is fouled by Schmitz, and he'll have a chance to score for the first time in the half. Rick Schmitz came over to commit foul number 3. The Boston Celtics are the best free throw shooting team in the NBA during the regular season as a team, hitting 83%. In the second half, Person has outscored Larry Bird 11-1 now. As Bird hits that one free throw.
Larry took the ball and put it up right into Rick Smith's face. He went right through him and was able to draw the contact and get to the line.
There's only the second miss of the day for the Celtics at the free throw line. They've hit 21 of 23. Indiana's 9 of 16. Thompson against McHale, gives it to Fleming. Vern Fleming mesmerized Brian Shaw, laid it in. Vern Fleming, 10 points. 2 shy of his average.
Reggie Miller back in the game for Chuck Person. I'm sorry, LaSalle Thompson back in for Smith. Yeah, and Reggie came back in.
Double team Bird. Brown had it blocked out of bounds by Thompson.
Celtics are a little out of sync right now.
They appear to be.
There's not much rhythm to what you're doing. They're going away from their strong point, which is the inside game.
Well, Robert Parrish not in the game at the moment, which takes a lot away from the inside attack. Lewis got the roll. 14 for Lewis. Shrimp. Shaw with the rebound. Brown made the ball fake. Reversed and got it. He fouled.
He doesn't look like a rookie here, does he? Great ball fake, comes up, uses the rim, and he finishes it.
D. Brown grew up in Jacksonville, unwanted as a high school senior, wound up going to Jacksonville University, and an unknown who proved himself in an NBA tryout camp, and then was the Celtics' first-round choice. He commits the foul as he got that steal.
It's all right. It's the first in the last 2 minutes. It'll be a non-shooting foul. It was almost a clean strip.
No one had heard much of D. Brown nationally until he won that slam dunk contest, All-Star Week.
He was a terrific college player and is proving to be a very good first-year pro player.
Indiana retains possession. Give and go to Williams. Oh, over his head. Williams banked it in and will step to the line with a chance for a three-point play. Acrobatic shot by Michael Williams.
You know, we don't want to seem like we're gushing too much, but we're seeing some great offensive basketball here today. That was a super play. Nice little shovel pass from LaSalle Thompson and Michael Williams, and a great finish to his drive.
Brown committing his third foul. And the Pacer lead now is 91-85. Lewis collides with Thompson. And Lewis bounces off, and Thompson wasn't even fazed by that collision. Foul on LaSalle.
I've seen that young man do that quite a few times before. He does not like to see people driving to the rim on him.
6'10", 250.
Takes it as a personal affront.
He laid a pick on Larry Bird the other night that sent Bird bad back and all sprawling, I guess trying to send a message. Sal Thompson collides with it, you know it.
Indiana making some substitutions here now. Take advantage of their shooters. Some offense-defense going on here.
There was the third quarter stat on Chuck Person that you saw. He's back on the court, 11 points in the third. Free throws keeping Boston in the game. They're only down 4. 30 seconds left in the third quarter.
They got an open floor situation. He's got a three-point shooter on each side.
Shrimp. Beauty. Dead Detlef Schrempf bottoms it, only his 6th point. Now Boston can take the final shot of the quarter. McHale sent sprawling by Briley, and a steal by Williams.
Michael Williams just made 2 big plays. Beat Brian Shaw off the dribble, or rather D. Brown off the dribble, and got the assist on the pass to Detlef Schrempf, and then the steal.
McHale over Dreiling, just threw it up and hit it. McHale with a little lecture for the official, wanted the foul as well. Watch this shot. Well, this is when he gets knocked down. Dreiling bodies him.
Just a little shove.
And then as Boston got the ball back, watch this off-balance shot by McHale. No way he can hit this. Boom. Timeout. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll be right back after these messages and a word from your local station.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Tom Hammond and Ron Rothstein at the Boston Garden, ready for the final 12 minutes with the visiting Pacers leading the Celtics 95-89. Chuck Person has been a one-man Celtic wrecking crew. He's hit 11 of 13 in the last 2 quarters and has a game-high 34 points. Don't forget, after this game, we'll go to Chicago, where the Bulls will host the Knicks in Game 2 of their series. McHale ended the quarter with an acrobatic shot, almost had one to start the final quarter. He draws the foul.
Pacers are trying to double McHale after taking the cutter into the lane and not going to double him right away. Ball is being entered, the passer is cutting. They're taking the cutter to the lane and then coming back from the baseline side to try and double him.
The best free throw shooting team in the NBA. Very productive at the foul line. Right now, it's the free throws keeping them in the game. They've hit, McHale has hit 8 of 9 himself, 15 points. Now 16. And the Pacer lead cut to 4, 95-91. Let's see if they go to Chuck Person.
Great back pick by Reggie Miller.
Schrempf missed on the line.
Reggie Miller laid to Wood to Kevin McHale. Clean up shrimping. He missed that chippy.
Bird missed the outside shots, and the Pacers get it right back. Here's Person. Only Derek Smith has been able to stop him. Held him scoreless for 3 minutes. Miller! Oh, outside shot by Reggie Miller.
Celtics are faced with a dilemma right now as to how to play Reggie Miller and Chuck Person.
McHale drives right around Dreiling, but can't score. 97-91.
Right now, they got Reggie Lewis on him, and they like to post him up. They bring Derek Smith back in, they lose some offense.
Smith has been the only man able to stop Chuck Person today. Lewis trying to body against Chuck Person and knock the ball away. Good defense by Lewis. Now Person guarding his Celtic counterpart and challenges that shot. Doesn't matter. Banked home by Reggie Lewis, who has 18. He's the top Celtic scorer. Williams, another bank home by Michael Williams, and he'll step to the line for a free throw.
Michael Williams has done a great job so far in this series of beating the Celtic defenders off the dribble and getting to the basket. He really makes a tough shot right here.
Celtics coach Chris Ford said the #1 priority today was to eliminate the effectiveness of Michael Williams. And as you saw illustrated there, they've been unable to do so. Three-point play by Michael Williams. He has 17 in the game.
Full court pressure, man-to-man.
Pacers by 7. Bidding to even the series at 1. Brian Shaw shot too hard. Person.
There's the problem. When you put McHale or Bird on him, he goes to the perimeter. And he's beating people off the dribble or just spotting up and shooting.
Season high 36 for Chuck Person.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance. By AT&T, the right choice. And by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
From Boston, Tom Hammond and Ron Rothstein at the Garden. 9:53 left in the game, and the upstart Indiana Pacers have their biggest lead, a 9-point advantage over Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics. Pacers have hit 3 of their first 4 shots this quarter, while the Celtics are only 1 of 4. Parrish back in the game, scores over Smith.
The chief answers the call.
Why has he been on the bench for so long?
He's probably resting. You know, he is 37 years old.
Oldest player in the NBA. Schmitz. Lewis all alone for the rebound. Boston trying to mount a charge. Trailing by as many as 9. Bird, ball fake, fall away, jumper no good. McHale taps it right back to him. Bird hit the second time. 16 points now.
Open 3.
Person.
Right now, you can't turn your head for 1 count on Chuck Person. He's going to get open. They're going to find him.
7 for 7 3-pointers. NBA playoff record, Chuck Person. There's a foul on Rick Smits. 7 for 7. Chuck Person with 39 points. Season's high, his career high, 47. Robert Parrish misses the free throw.
That's Smith's 4th personal foul, and I think you're going to see the Celtics continue to go down inside. Indiana's perimeter game against the Celtics' power game.
Contrast in styles here for the final 8.5 minutes.
There's the back pick again.
Trent leaning the wrong way, but a foul called, a hold on Larry Bird of Boston. 4th foul on Bird. Person looked like he wanted to pass, shot instead, and a rare miss. Parrish foul, a hold on Indiana. Detlef Schrempf. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
All right, as we get into the 4th quarter here, a lot of strange things have happened in this building, and you've been a part of them, John Havlicek.
Well, there have been a lot of strange things, and people talk about leprechauns and that type of thing, but I can recall years ago the most important factor for us was an old clock that no one could read but the Boston Celtics.
The last thing I think that these Celtics want to do is go back to Indiana 1-1.
Well, they don't want to go back 1-1. They'd much rather have the 2-point bulge, as you might say, because then it allows them to come back here for a final game if need be. But if they go out there, they realize that, you know, it could be a situation where they have more experience on their floor, and it would be tough.
All right, thanks, John. We will be back to the Boston Garden right after this.
Pacers have their biggest lead with 8:01 showing on the clock, and Chris Ford of the Celtics is down to only 1 timeout with 8 minutes left. Could that be critical, Coach?
Well, it could be down the stretch. There's no question about it. But, you know, you can't save your timeouts if your team's getting blown away. And Chris is doing everything he can to try and break the momentum and keep his team in the game right now.
Parrish posting up on Smits, draws the double team for a moment as Miller made a swipe at him, and Parrish is fouled. On Rick Smits, that will be foul number 5. 5 against Smits.
The double team starts coming back from the baseline, but Smits never turns Parrish back to Reggie Miller.
Smits with 5 will go to the bench. And Bob Hill inserts LaSalle Thompson at the pivot spot. Greg Dreiling remains out of the game, too. Larry Bird will take a rest. He'll lie on the floor in front of the Celtic bench.
Celtics right now going with Dee Brown and Brian Shaw in the backcourt.
Robert Parrish had 4 field goals in the first quarter, only 2 since then. Celtics have needed his offense. He gets 2 free throws to pull him with an 8. Miller misses a 3, and Williams gets it right back. Boy, Michael Williams showing some great hustle today.
Robert Parrish and Dee Brown both going for the rebound. Did not communicate. Here's the open set. Michael Williams is going to try and get a seam.
Dish to Shrimp, who made a great fake of McHale and converted.
Show and go. Show the basketball, draw the defender, put it on the floor, create an open space for yourself to get your jumper.
Pacers by 10. Parrish calling for it. Instead sets a screen. Lewis misses the shot. And a push on McHale. Loose ball foul. Kevin McHale pleads his case. It'll fall on deaf ears. 2 fouls on Kevin. Kevin is never at a loss for words, is he?
Kevin's always got something to say. Indiana going to go to the open set again. They have Reggie Miller and Chuck Person out high, 3-point line, above top of circle. You got Detlef Schrempf in the right corner. That's the way. They got to bring him to LaSalle Thompson and make him a shooter, and he does.
Well, everybody, what they have for breakfast today?
I don't know, but they better have it again on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Biggest lead for the Pacers. Everybody's hitting. Lewis. Reggie Lewis with 20 points. He led the Celtics, led all scorers with 28 in game 1. He's tops for Boston again today.
I think Dee Brown's got to square this kid up and keep him in front of him. That's a hand check.
5 fouls on Dee Brown. Right after this game, we'll go to Chicago, where the Knicks will take on the Bulls. Michael Jordan and company trying to whip up on the Knicks like they did in game 1. And the Knicks, do they have enough pride to come back and make a game of it? We'll see.
Got the open set again. We're a little pinned down on the weak side. Little 2-man game on the weak side.
Williams takes the outside shot. Guess what? Indiana continues to blaze away. That's 19 for Michael Williams, who only averages 11 on the season. Shaw faked the defense away, and once he got open, he connected. Teams trading baskets now, and the lead remains at 10.
Well, it's not good enough for the Celtics. They need some stops if they're going to get back in this thing.
Shot clock to 5. Shrimp. It counts. And a Boston foul. I can't imagine the Pacers playing any better than they played today. Maybe Larry Bird can come in and save the day once more for Boston. Chris Ford sends him onto the court.
Indiana is playing almost a picture-perfect game. I think Bob Hill has to be extremely pleased. They played very well, as we said Friday night, and we said they were coming here with a lot of confidence. And they're a good shooting team, but they are really stroking it today, and they're completing their drives, taking them off the dribble, getting into the middle of the floor, which is really hurting the Celtics.
Detlef Schrempf has 11 points and 8 rebounds, and it's 117 to 104. Shaw. Brian Shaw has 22. 5 minutes left.
Brian Shaw now on Michael Williams.
Williams kicked from outside time. Bird took it away from his own man.
I think that's their best bet. Square Michael Williams up and make him a jump shooter from 18 or 20.
Penetration by Shaw. Kick Perry. And then into the hands of Miller. Miller.